Hey, what's going on? I wanted to make a quick track with the MS-20, only using the MS-20, only using sounds from the MS-20. It's gonna sound like this. Hopefully that sounded all right. I'm gonna just start with a kick drum. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn down both oscillators, and then I'm going to crank the resonance on the low pass filter almost all the way up, maybe around like 9. I'm gonna turn the sustain down on EG2, the release down, the attack down, and I'm just gonna give it just a little bit of decay. I'm gonna patch the rev out of EG1 and I'm gonna put it into the total, and then we'll just crank this. Whoa. All right. That seems to be the body on the high pass filter that I'm starting to be able to carve out the tone a little bit. I like that. Okay, so we got a kick drum. Let me go ahead and sample that. I'll keep myself organized and I'm gonna just name this kick. Cool, now I've got my kick sample. Let's move on. Oh my gosh. All right. Hi. Let's see if we can make a snare drum sound. All right, we're gonna do the same thing. Rev out into the total. Let's zero these out. I know that I'm gonna keep the decay the same on EG2. Just a little bit of attack time on the envelope generator 1. We're gonna go to about 6 here, 3 here. We're gonna turn the resonance up here on the high pass filter. We'll keep it at 8 here for the low pass filter. And then we're gonna crank this up to 9. We'll do, I guess, 8 here, and then let's do 8 there. All right, we got sort of like the tone. We've got like the little something going on. All right, let's see if we can get this to sound more snare drummy. White noise into the external signal processor. Out of the external signal processor, run this into low pass filter. Post band pass filter into the high pass filter, the high cut down, maybe just to 1, this up to about 7. Hey, we got a snare drum sound. So let's sample this real quick. I'm gonna do a quick hat, really simple. So I just have white noise, I have VCO2 down. I'm gonna cut out some of the low end of the white noise with the high pass filter. So I've got that up a little bit. And then I just have a very short decay on EG2 and then a little bit of release time, and here's what I got, right? And then if I open up the decay a little bit, then we have our open hat. I like that. So let me go ahead and record my hat. All right, and then let's get our open hat. We'll do this. Okay, let's see. How about a cowbell? Square wave for VCO1 and VCO2. Let's turn both of these. I'll turn VCO1 up. We'll set everything back to the beginning here. Sustain up. Let's see. Whoa. The octaves were apart. There we go. All right, I like that. I'll record that. CB for cowbell. All right, let's see if we can maybe get some sort of punchy, subby sort of thing. So I'm gonna turn VCO2 down. All right, we'll take the rev of the EG1 into oscillator 1 and 2. All right, I like that. All right, so I wanted to just show you what I've got in Ableton. I brought everything over to a drum rack, and I just have my kick, my 808 sound, my snare, my cowbell, and then my hats. So here's what they all sound like. Here's my snare. 808. Cowbell. There's the two of them. So here's what I've got. On the kick, I just have a drum bus set up, just using a little bit of the transient shaper to just make it sound a little bit more clicky and punchy. Snare, I have a drum bus. I've got a little bit of the transient shaper, just grabbing a little bit of that. I also have a little bit of reverb in there, just a room reverb to give it a little bit more character. And then I also took the patch that I made and I pitched it up an octave. So that's what we got. The 808, I have a drum bus on here, but I didn't bring in any sort of transient shaping. What I did do is I set the attack, I gave it a little bit of an attack on the amp so that it sort of goes like boom, boom, allowing a little bit more room for the transient of the kick. So you can kind of hear that it goes up like that, and then both of these together. They're not perfect, but I think that they sound all right together. They blend well enough. Cowbell, it's just the cowbell. And then the hats, they're pretty straightforward. I do have just a little bit of attack on the amp for the open hat, just so that it's not quite as clangy at the beginning. And then they're both in a choke group. So that's what we got. And then what I also did was I just took the cowbell and I put it on its own sampler or simpler so that I could just play it chromatically. And then I also have a little bit of room reverb on this one here. What else do I have going on? I've got one more thing. Let me see if I can, I gotta move the camera. Lastly, I'm just gonna create some patches probably on the MS-20 and play it directly into whatever I create. Right now I just have a simple, it's a sawtooth with a square wave patch. Kind of just like gritty sounding. I'll probably explore a little bit more with that as well. All right, I'm gonna make a track. Hopefully it sounds cool. I hope that you have a good weekend. If you get a chance, take a listen to an EP that I dropped like maybe 2 months ago, a month ago with my partner Abigail. It's called Third Order Sim. I think it sounds cool. I think it's neat. I'll put a link for it there or here or somewhere. But if you get a chance to listen to it, oh boy, would I be grateful for that. Thanks.